Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today in this very new video, we'll be understanding decision making with concept clarity and accuracy. Now, decision making is a very important concept in our CSAT paper or any other high stake competitive examinations, okay, like SSC, banking or any other state public service examinations. Now, decision making, why this is actually included in the syllabus of any exam? Because whenever you are becoming an officer, you should understand the actual decision making process. Okay, you should understand how to take the right decision. Okay, so that is why to evaluate your decision making ability, that is why this topic is added in your syllabus. So now let's understand and dive into the concept of decision making. So what is decision making? Decision making is the ability to choose the best course of action among multiple alternatives, okay, based on logic, ethics, practicality and consequences. So while you take a decision, before taking a decision, you have to evaluate everything, okay, whether if you take a decision now, what will be the consequences after your decision, okay, whether your decision is ethical or not, whether this decision is practical or not, okay, and whether this decision has some logic or not, okay. So the ability to evaluate or to choose the best course of action regarding that particular situation is actually the right decision making. Okay, now in exams like UPSC, CSAT, it tests analytical ability, okay. While you take a decision, the evaluator evaluates your analytical ability. Okay, when you choose the option from those various options in the exams, so the examiner tries to evaluate, do you have the sufficient analytical ability or not? Okay, that is why this decision making topic is included in your syllabus. Also, ethical judgment. So you need to evaluate whether your decision is going on ethical grounds or not. Yes, then practical thinking, okay, whether are you thinking in a practical mode or not, okay, whether you are taking this decision with the help of these real life situations, okay. Also, emotional intelligence, whether you are able to manage your emotions or not regarding taking the right decision in the particular situation, okay, whether you are trying to be more emotional or whether you are trying to be not emotional at all, okay. So emotional intelligence is a very important element regarding decision making. So all these points you have to keep in mind while you choose the best course of action, okay, regarding decision making. I hope it helps you to understand the very concept of decision making. Now let's move on to the various types of decision making. Okay, first is rational decision making. First is rational decision making. Okay, so what is rational decision making? Rational decision making is based on the logic, okay, based on the facts and analysis. The way you analyze the situation before you take a decision, okay, before you take the decision, whether your decision will be logical or not, whether it is practical or not, and also the decision should be based upon some real facts. Okay, so for example, let's look at this example, choosing a job based on salary, growth and stability. Okay, choosing a job based on salary, growth and stability. So while you choose a job among various options, you will always check what are the salaries of these jobs. Yes, you'll always check that whether in these particular jobs, am I having the growth or not? Or will my growth be stagnant? So you will be always choosing that job which will always give you the growth. Yes, and always you'll be checking the stability in your job. Yes, so is there a stability factor or not while choosing your job is the important element while you take the decision of choosing that particular job. So all these decisions is known as what? Is rational decision making, which will be based on the correct logic, the facts and the analysis. Okay, so this is what? Rational decision making. Next is intuitive decision making. Okay, intuitive decision making, it is based on instinct or the gut feeling. Okay, what actually is your gut feeling while you take the decision? Okay, what actually your mind saying you, okay, to take the correct decision. So that decision making is known as what? Intuitive decision making. For example, trusting someone based on first impression. Yes, as we say, first impression is the last impression. Okay, so when we feel that this person is actually good with me in the very first meeting, we feel like trusting that person. So if you trust someone based on the very first impression, then it means you are taking the decision of trusting that person regarding your instinct, okay, with the help of your instinct or with the help of your gut feeling. So that decision making is known as what? Intuitive decision making. I hope you understood both these decision making. Let's move on to the next. Okay, next type is ethical decision making. Okay, ethical decision making. What is ethical decision making? That decision which will be based on the moral values and the fairness. Okay, moral values and the fairness. For example, reporting corruption. Okay, whenever corruption has been taken place, if you report it with fairness, okay, if your decision is based on the moral values, it means that particular decision of yours, reporting that corruption, is actually what? Is actually ethical. Yes, is actually on the basis of fairness. Okay, there is no partial decision making. So that decision making is known as what? Ethical decision making. Okay, next is strategic decision making. Strategic decision making. What is strategic decision making? It means long-term planning and vision. Okay, it means long-term planning and vision. So you have a strategy. Why you took this decision? What is your strategy after taking the decision? So that decision making is known as strategic decision making. It means it is a long-term planning and having a vision. Yes, I having a vision. That is why I have chose this decision. I have a long-term plan. Okay. For example, government policy decisions. Okay. Always, whenever the government implements any policies, okay, whenever the government always issues any policy, what happens? They have a long-term plan for it. Yes, they have a vision for that policy. So this is what? Strategic decision making. Okay, I hope you understood all the 4 types of decision making. Now let's understand how to take the decision. Yes, I'm repeatedly saying decision making. The topic itself is decision making. Now, how to take the correct decision? There are certain steps. Okay, the steps are: identify the problem. What is actually the problem? You first have to identify it. Next, you have to gather some information. You have to gather some facts based on that issue that is going on. Okay, so gather information. That is the very step 2. Okay, next is identify the alternatives. Okay, you need to identify the various options before you take a decision. Okay, if there is any issue going on, if there is any problem going on, you have to identify the problem. Then you have to gather some informations, and then to resolve that issue, you have to look for the various options. Okay, before you take the correct decision. So you have to identify the various options or the various alternatives. Next is evaluate the options. Now when you identify the various alternatives, now you need to evaluate. Now you need to analyze. Okay, now you need to understand, if I take this particular option, what can be the particular consequence? Okay, will that decision, if I choose this particular option, will that option be actually fruitful? Yes, now that is what? That is evaluating the various options in front of you, analyzing the situations. Next is choosing the best option. After you evaluate all the options, you will at least have some intuition. You will always have some ethical grounds. You will have a strategic decision making. Okay, so you will have a strategy, a long-term vision. So then you can choose the best option among all the options after evaluating them. Next is, after you have chosen the best decision, you have to implement it. Yes, that is the most important part. So you have to implement the decision after choosing the best option. Okay, and then what will happen after you implement the decision? The last step is what? It is reviewing the outcome. Last but not the least, and the most important part, that is reviewing the outcome. It means the consequence after you have taken that particular decision. What outcome has taken place? Okay, so all the steps for decision making: identifying the problem, then gathering the information, identify the alternatives, evaluate options, choosing the best option, implement the decision, reviewing the outcome. Okay, all these are what? Steps in decision making. Let's now move on to some important principles. Okay, some important principles. Think long-term consequence. Okay, thinking about the long-term consequence after you take a decision, it is very important that you understand what can be the long-term consequence after me taking that decision. Okay, this is a very important principle. Second is avoid emotional biasness. Okay, so suppose before you taking the decision, you cannot be over emotional. Okay, you cannot be partial. Okay, so you have to avoid being emotional or avoid emotional biasness. Okay, next is you have to maintain the ethics and the integrity. You have to carry the moral values, the ethical ground regarding while you take the decision. Okay, next is choosing the most practical solution. In the real life situations, you have to think that whether the situation actually comes in align with the real life situation or not. Okay, so you have to choose the most practical solution, and also you have to consider the stakeholders before you take the decision. Okay, you have to discuss with the other people as well surrounding that particular situation. Okay, will it impact the other stakeholders if this is my decision? Whether my decision will be the practical or not, whether the decision will have the most practical solution, whether it be an ethical decision. Okay, do I have that strategic decision having that long-term vision or not? Okay, whether these consequences will not impact the general people. Okay, so all these things you have to keep in mind, all these important principles before you take a decision. Clear? So these are the important principles regarding decision making. Okay, now moving on, we have understood the whole concept. Now let's solve some MCQs. Okay, now the question is, a district officer, okay, a district officer finds that relief materials are insufficient. Okay, the relief materials are insufficient. What should he do first? What should he do first? Distribute equally, inform higher authorities and request more, prioritize the most affected people, or delay distribution. Suppose flash floods has taken place and now the district officer finds that the relief materials are insufficient. So what will be the correct decision? Whether to distribute equally, inform higher authorities and request more, prioritize the most affected people, or delay the distribution? Let's check the correct answer. The correct answer is answer C. Okay, answer C is what? Prioritizing the most affected people. So when the relief materials are insufficient, okay, whatever materials are there, first we need to prioritize the most affected people. Yes, then later we can think about the others. Yes, so the answer is answer number C, prioritize the most affected people. Now I have given the explanation here. Immediate priority is saving lives. Okay, if I give priority as an officer to those who are most affected and distribute the relief materials to them first, then what will happen? Then I can save those lives. Yes, ethical and practical decision is to help the most affected first. Okay, that is why C is the correct answer. Moving on with the next question. You discover your colleague is taking bribes. What will you do? Okay, so while your colleague is taking bribes, what will you do after discovering it? Options are you'll ignore the fact. Yes. You will join him to take bribes. Okay. Or you will report to authority, or since he is your colleague, you will warn him privately only. Okay. So which can be the most ethical, practical decision from all these options? Will you ignore it? No. Will you join him? No. Will you warn him privately only? No. You have to report to the authority, being an ethical officer. Okay? So the answer is C. Ethical responsibility and integrity demand reporting the corruption that has been taking place in your office. Okay? So that is why, now can you see the questions? Why these questions are given? Because to understand, the evaluator, the examiner must understand your thinking ability, your analytical sense, your critical thinking ability, whether you are made for being an officer or not. What do you think being an officer? So that is why these kind of questions have been given. So you need to understand and take the decision properly. Okay? So ethical responsibility and integrity demand reporting corruption. Okay. Next question. A student cheats in exam due to family pressure. What is the best action? A student cheats in exam due to family pressure. What is the best action? Ignore situation, punish strictly, counsel and take fair action, publicly shame. Okay? Ignore the situation, punishing strictly, counseling the student and take fair action, and publicly shame. Which will be the correct one? You can definitely punish strictly the student, but it is very, very important to counsel the student as well. What is his problem? Why did he actually cheat in exam? What are the family pressures he is facing? Or what are the challenges he is facing? Okay, so the answer is C. Okay, that will be the balanced decision. You will also give the student the justice, and also you'll be having the empathy. Now, what is empathy? Understanding the situation of that other person. Okay, going to that person's place and understanding what the person is actually going through. Okay, so you will also punish him. Yes, you'll also take action. Okay, provide justice, as well as you also counsel the student with empathy. Yes, so it will be the balanced decision. That is why the answer is C. I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question. You have 2 urgent tasks. What should you do? Okay, both the tasks are urgent. What will you do as an officer? Do the easier one first. Do randomly. Okay, whatever you feel like. Or you prioritize based on importance, or you delay both the tasks. Okay, as an officer, if you have 2 urgent tasks, okay, being an officer, you can have multiple tasks in one day. Yes, so which one will you give priority? Or you will be delaying both, or you will be doing it randomly, or you'll be choosing the easier one first. Okay, or you will be prioritizing based on importance. So being an officer, your balanced decision will be what? That you will be prioritizing in between both the tasks, and you will be choosing which task is more important. Okay, I'll be doing that first. Clear? So answer is C. Rational decision making requires prioritization. What was rational decision making? That decision that will have logic based on the correct facts. Okay, so rational decision making requires prioritization. Clear? Next question is, a policy benefits majority but harms a minority. What should you do? Okay, you are implementing a policy of the government. Now you have discovered that this policy is benefiting the majority of the people but also harming the minority communities. Okay, minority communities. What should you do now? You will ignore the minorities, you will reject the policy, or you will modify to reduce the harm, or you will delay the decision. Will you delay the decision, or you will reject the policy itself because it is harming the minority communities, or you will ignore the minorities? What will you do? You will have to modify the policy a little bit to reduce the harm that the minorities are actually facing. That will be the balanced decision. Yes? So the answer is what? Answer is C. Ethical governance balances majority benefit with the minority rights. Okay, so answer is C. You have to modify the policy to reduce the harm that the minorities are facing. Okay, next question is, your friend asks for exam answers during test. Okay, I think we all have gone through this thing, this situation, that your friend asks for exam answers during the test is going on. Now what will you do? What did you do when you were in school, in college? Helped him? You ignored him? Or refused politely or informed teacher immediately? Which one? Which decision did you have you taken? Did you help him? I think most of you have helped him, yes? And I think some students are there who actually ignore, yes? And some actually refuse it. Very politely they say, no, I cannot let you cheat. I cannot tell you the answer, I'm sorry. And there are some complaint boxes in school, yes, who inform the teacher immediately. So what shall be your decision? You have to refuse the particular friend very politely that this is a test going on and it will be against your ethics that you have to cheat now. Yes, and it is against my own moral values that will help you. Okay, so I have to refuse it very politely. Yes, so maintaining integrity without unnecessary harshness. You cannot be harsh towards your friend, as well as you have to maintain the integrity as well. Okay? Now, next question is, you are leading a team and conflict arises. What is the best approach? Okay? You are leading a team and among your team members, a conflict arises. Now, how do you resolve that matter? Okay? What is the best approach of you? Okay? You will take sides. Will you take sides? Or you'll ignore the conflict? Or you will listen to both of the sides and resolve fairly or punish both? What will you do? Definitely you have to listen to both the sides. Why the conflict has taken place? What are the issues they are facing? Yes, and then you have to resolve it with fairness, without any biasness or partiality. Okay, so listening to both and resolve fairly will be the best decision you can take. So answer is definitely C. Explanation I have given. Good decision making involves fairness and communication. When you actually listen to the issues, being an officer, you have to listen to the issues, the challenges the common people are facing. Also the teamwork, okay, the team members' issues, the challenges they are facing. Yes, because in an office, even if you are posted as the highest senior officer, definitely there will be your subordinates. Yes, all will be working as a team. Yes, so you have to consider everyone's opinion, what they are facing. Yes, you have to consider, you have to listen to everyone and then resolve the issues very fairly, okay, without biasness. Okay. Next question is, limited budget forces you to cut welfare schemes. What should you prioritize? Okay, limited budget forces you to cut welfare schemes. What should you prioritize? Options are political gain, essential services, personal interest, media image. Okay, when there is limited budget forces you to cut welfare schemes. Okay, what should you prioritize? Should you prioritize political gain? Or should you look for the essential services? Or should you look for your own personal interest or the media image? Definitely you have to look for the essential services. When the limited budget forces you to cut welfare schemes, you definitely have to go for the essential services. Yes, so the answer is what? Answer is B. So explanation is given. So public welfare and essentials must come first. Okay, public welfare is the most important point that you must always remember, because you are going to serve to the common people, to the public. Yes or no? Okay. Next question is, a rumor spreads panic in society. What should authority do? Any rumor that there is a fire going, there's a fire taking place nearby, or there was a blast nearby, what will you do as an officer? A rumor spreads panic in the whole society. So what will you do? What should the authority do now? Should the authority ignore or spread the counter rumors that yes, since the blast has taken place, so and so group has done the blast? So what must be the correct option? Or provide accurate information quickly that so and so is a rumor that is spreading now. Please do not believe these rumors. Okay? Or you need to punish everyone. So which will be the best decision? Definitely provide the accurate information quickly. Okay? And then let people understand the situation, not be in panic. Okay? So the option is providing accurate information quickly. Yes, transparency and communication reduces panic. Okay, so communication is very important. You being an officer, definitely maintaining the transparency in your work. Okay, all right. Next question is, you must choose between a high-paying unethical job and a low-paying ethical job. Okay, the unethical job is giving you high salary. Okay, and the ethical job is actually giving you low salary. Okay, what will you do? You'll choose what? Ethical is giving you low salary and unethical is giving you high salary. What you must do? Should you choose money, choose the ethical job, delay decision, or asks others? What is your correct answer? Choose money, choose ethical job, delay the decision, or ask others. What should be your decision? When you already know that this job is ethical and this job is unethical, should you ask others? No, you already know which is ethical. Okay, should you choose money? No. Yes, because I have explained you that you must always follow the moral values. Yes, you must always maintain the integrity in your life. So what should be the correct option? You must always go for the ethical job and never delay the decision. Whenever you actually know that this is unethical, that has been taking place, you must quickly take action. Yes, and also when you are given this choice of choosing the unethical and ethical, definitely you must go for the ethical job. So the answer is B. Ethics is central to long-term success. Okay, especially in civil services. Okay, so ethics is central to long-term success. All right, so these were certain questions I brought for the decision making, and will be continuing to bring such important topics for your upcoming examinations. So stay tuned and let's meet in the next video.